everyone. Hey, my name is Olivia, and I'm a creative technologist, a digital artist, and a guest lecturer at London College of Fashion. Today, I'm going to be speaking to you about generative spaces and I'm going to be discussing digital identity and generative spaces and how I've used creative computing within the realm of art, music, and culture. My explorations roughly started around here, in primary school. I went on a nature retreat where one of the tasks was to build a tipi. Myself and my creative partner first researched what a tipi was and then planned our build using Microsoft Paint. For a long time, for as long as I can remember, I've collaborated with computer systems to help me to communicate my ideas, learn, and play. My process and interests have developed over time, but the core is very much still the same. Fast forward to 2024, here I am running a series of tests at alternate venues ahead of an event for Recess, an events company at the heart of music and culture in the UK. I create generative art, and I use computer systems to help bring my ideas to life. I mainly use Touch Designer to create these generative spaces, an interactive software perfect for events or installations that run in real time. Process is everything when experimenting with emerging technologies. I plan every aspect from aesthetics to movement to hardware constructions, getting things to connect on screens and stay working throughout the duration of an event or an installation. An experimental process always allows me to refine and test new pipelines, especially when working with new technologies. So I mainly use generative art within spaces and that have digital screens or projections. But what is generative art? Generative art is created in collaboration with a computer through code, algorithms, preset perimeters, or AI, rather than being made solely by the artist, i.e. myself. So a bit of a fun fact, I was the first person, as far as I know, to work as a creative technologist within Ministry of Sound. Working as the in-house creative technologist, I began to imagine the screens not just as a default backdrop, but an active space for emotional and sensory exploration. I love this quote because it reflects the energy that I approach my projects with. Free your mind and your ass will surely follow. What kinds of experiences can I create with creative technology that allows people to truly let go, freeing their minds and their bodies? With generative art, I wanted to explore something a little bit more abstract. What happens when we move away from clear narratives and instead focus entirely on feeling? This is created for an event called Love for a House Cat, where the cat was the main protagonist. And it follows a usual linear storytelling structure. But I wanted to delve into something a little bit more abstract to capture more of the essence of feeling. James Turrell is an artist who does this really well. He's best known for his work with light and space. He shapes light and transforms the way we see, feel, and exist in space. What inspires me about Turrell isn't just the scale or the silence in his work, it's the intention behind it. He treats light almost as if it's a spiritual material. And that really mirrors the way I approach creative technology, not just as a tool, but as a way to shift perception, create feeling, and connect more deeply to ourselves and the space we move through. I became curious about what happens when visuals aren't static, but instead move and shift in real time with sound. Generative art, although technical, is organic. It reflects the natural growth systems we see in the world around us. from branching trees to flowing rivers to the palms of our hands. These systems often feel random, but they follow sequential rules. I believe that generative patterns can create experiences that mirror the complexities of feeling. So what happens when we bring these patterns into spaces where people are actively trying to let go, seeking freedom of mind, movement, and expression? I explored a number of patterns, each one tuned to different genres in the club. It was important that the visuals were intuitive and flexible enough to adapt to multiple DJs and shifting energies throughout the night. While the core visuals were pre-programmed, the system is customizable in real time. An example of this is this DJ set, which I hope plays, by K Men's. I was briefed for the visual to look a little like a lava lamp with a twist. Okay, fingers crossed it plays. So this is before any audio reactivity is added. Behind the scenes, I'm getting the visuals to respond to the high, medium, and low frequencies within a song, as well as BPS, beats per second, and snare. I could get granular about what I want the visuals to respond to. Touch Designer is a software that allows me to pick up on new pieces of information or data to create visuals for, which allows for different kinds of stories to be told, from brainwave frequencies on an EEG headset to music frequencies. Okay, this isn't going to play. Oh my gosh. Sorry, guys. Oh. Yay, it played. So that was an experience that I created for out-and-out venues. And as you've probably seen in out-and-out yourselves, like the screen is incredible. So I was really able to turn up the impact of the color. The same thinking and approach was applied to an installation at Carnival. But how does digital identity and generative spaces connect? I've explored the many ways that spaces and identity intersect, particularly through the lens of well-being. But when we bring generative spaces and digital identity together, it opens the door to a new idea: generative identities. As humans, we are generative by nature. So how can digital avatars begin to reflect that same fluidity and growth? As a child, one of the games I loved to play was The Sims. The gaming environment gave me a safe space to explore complex topics such as the value of money, career paths, sex, different family structures, community, and even death. Digital avatars can be a way to safely explore alternative realities and varying perspectives. The digital avatars I work with today are metahumans, high-fidelity, lifelike digital characters. Creating digital avatars is now different from playing as a child. I can be intentional about the stories I want to tell. I use metahumans as a way to explore and uncover my own perception of self and consciousness. This quote basically uncovers what I do as a creative technologist working with digital avatars. In my early exploration of metahumans through Unreal Engine, I explored dance as a method for self-inquiry through a short concept film named Commander. I didn't know how to make clothes at the time, so my metahuman was often seen in her underwear. But that was fine, because in my digital reality, my metahuman doesn't carry the same fears that I do in this one. She's unaffected by sexism, racism, or body insecurity. She has no anxiety about how she's being perceived, and she's completely free to be herself. Thank you. So this concept piece was an early study in movement, motion capture, and face scanning. At its core, it explores my relationship with technology, represented by the robot. Through dance, at first, Liv 2.0, my metahuman, tells the robot to dance, and it simply mimics her. She tells the robot to dance again, and this time it outperforms her through breakdancing that you saw. It evolves. This is a playful exploration, but it's one that explores authorship, control, and co-creation. It also aligns with the current conversations around human to AI collaboration. Who is leading who? Who is learning? Who is shaping who? Digital Vessel is another exploratory short film that investigates the interplay between tech and identity, drawing inspiration from the film The Matrix and the manifesto Glitch Feminism. The film imagines a protagonist waking up inside a digital vessel, unfamiliar yet reflective of her inner world. It asks how our digital identities can reshape our understanding of reality, inviting us to consider how technology becomes an extension of self in the digital age. What parts of yourself feel safest to express digitally, and why? How can digital avatars become more than just representation, but become a tool for liberation? In a world where identity is fluid and generative, what stories do you want to tell? These are questions I ask myself when exploring digital avatars. I eventually did learn how to put clothes on my metahumans. In my latest exploration, my creative partner, Let's Fafega, and I were commissioned to create a video installation for the Digital Body Festival. The film is called Dance We Do, an Afro-surrealist film based on the Akombi dance. We're both Nigerian with roots in the Calabar region, an area surrounded by water. In this region comes the Akombi dance, a ceremonial movement that pays homage to the ocean, known for its grace and fluidity. Using motion capture, we brought the dance to life on screen. We designed the metahumans, made futuristic Akombi-inspired fits, sourced the hair, and built the environments. We had less than a month, and completely everything went completely wrong, and we had to change everything around. Um, but it was still a labor of love. It was a beautiful opportunity to honor our cultural heritage and spark intergenerational conversations. So this is a BTS of the process where digital fashion was made, and this is a bit of the motion capture. And then also on screen is the Akombi dancers and the traditional face paint, which I decided to make really futuristic. So I've decided instead of paint, maybe there should be a levitating mask on the metahumans instead. It was also a chance to tell a very layered story about identity. My dad is a first-generation British Nigerian. His music taste was influenced by the UK underground scene, which birthed jungle music in the 90s when he was in his 20s. This is what I was exposed to growing up. I also worked in a club where drum and bass music which has its origins to jungle music, was played every other day at 9 a.m. That's probably why I've developed such a love for drum and bass. So when it came to choosing a track for the final video, I insisted on drum and bass. It felt honest and a real reflection of my experience as a British Nigerian.
Dance.
Okay, that was a bit of it. Um, Thank you. So yeah, that was a labor of love. Constructed a whole environment. Last minute, things just didn't work. So we really had a lot of all-nighters to construct that together, and I'm very happy with it. But to end, this is what I've learned through telling stories with emerging technologies. Stories without limits embrace nonlinear. They evolve in real time. They have a spirit of collaboration. They challenge fixed narratives, and they lean into experimentation. And I'll leave you with this. Free your mind and your ass will follow. Not just on a dance floor, but a way of life. Thank you.